Justin Trudeau's carbon tax gamble. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his Liberal government are going to forge ahead with plans for a carbon tax across the country. Consequences be damned. That's something that is becoming more apparent by the day. Ever since Trudeau announced the carbon tax plan a few weeks ago, there's been opposition from Atlantic premiers like Stephen McNeil, a Liberal, just like Trudeau himself, but someone who said this would hurt his province. It's also been opposed by people like Brad Wall, the Premier of Saskatchewan, who said the same thing. This will hurt his province. Trudeau doesn't care about internal criticism. He wants a carbon tax across the country. Well, of course, on November 8th, the Americans decided they wanted Donald Trump as their next president. And Trump has made it clear he has no plans for a carbon tax. He wants to reduce taxes in the United States, not increase them. That includes lowering corporate taxes. It includes not having a carbon tax at all. All of this means that Canada will get more expensive while the United States becomes less expensive to do business. But don't worry, Canada's going to forge ahead. Our Environment Minister, our Minister of Climate Change in Marrakesh, Morocco, celebrating that she received the award for carbon pricing.
I'm really honored to get this Carbon Pricing Leadership Award. It's really great. It had to do with the work that we did on carbon markets at COP21 in the Paris Agreement, but also about the work we did here in Canada. And I want to do a shout out to all the other people who deserve this too with me. So all the amazing public servants at Environment and Climate Change Canada who have worked so hard on this file. I want to thank my political team. They're amazing. And I also want to do a real shout out to the provinces who stood up on pricing before the federal government was there. So thank you, BC, thank you, Quebec, thank you, Ontario, and thank you, Alberta.
Add to that headlines like this one from iPolitics. Canada sets 2050 emissions targets as Trump presidency approaches. The new goal is to have Canada at 80% below 2005 emissions levels by 2050. That's a more aggressive plan than was in place before. It's a more aggressive plan than the Americans will ever move forward on. Whether it's been conservative or liberal governments over the last 15, 20 years as we've moved forward on environmental regulations, one thing has been done consistently. Moving forward in lockstep with the Americans so that Canadian businesses are not put at a disadvantage. But under Trudeau's regime, that's no longer the case. And now the business environment, the business community is stepping forward to say, hold on, it's time to rethink this plan. Jeffrey Tonkin from Birchcliff Energy telling BNN that they need to stop and pause. Quote, we need to keep our costs low to compete with the U.S. Well, that's the last thing that Trudeau is going to do, or his allies like Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne. They're not only forging ahead with a carbon tax plan, they're going to increase CPP premiums. They will keep corporate taxes at the same level as the Americans or higher. They will increase taxes on high-income earners. They're going to make Canada and Ontario more or less competitive as time goes on. This is something that will drive business investment out of Canada and into the United States if Donald Trump even enacts half of what he's suggested so far. This is going to be devastating for the Canadian economy, not only in the oil patch, but across central Canada where manufacturing is still a going concern, at least for now. Soon, we might have our own Rust Belt thanks to the environmental and economic plans put forward by Justin Trudeau. As I said off the top, he's forging ahead with a carbon tax. Consequences be damned. Why? Because to him, this isn't about economics. This isn't about job growth. This is about religion. This is his true religion, going ahead and trying to stop global warming, just like Kathleen Wynne, the Premier of Ontario, who went on CTV's Question Period and said, no, having a carbon tax when the Americans don't won't make us less competitive. We'll be competitive with countries that do have one. Well, while some countries are having carbon taxes, others, like France, have taken a step back and said they won't have one. Australia has canceled theirs, and I'm sure others will follow suit soon, which will leave Canada virtue signaling to the world that we're the good guys as more and more of our people become the unemployed guys. If you like what you just saw, make sure that you click subscribe to our YouTube channel. Never miss another Rebel video again, or head on over to the Rebel.media. Join thousands of other great Canadians in the in crowd. Yes, people that are members of the Rebel.media, and you'll be able to access content only members can see.